Paolo Banchero going first overall was not something that was expected until 24 hours before the 2022 NBA draft actually opened, but fast forward to the end of the 2022-2023 NBA season and it's looking like that quote-unquote shocking first overall pick was the right choice. Paolo had a great rookie season. It wasn't a perfect season by any means, he definitely had his fair share of ups and downs, but overall I was very impressed by what I saw on tape. Paolo Banchero has intangibles, skills, and physical tools he just can't teach. And the Orlando Magic have been looking for that franchise player to build around really since they traded Dwight Howard to the Lakers. While it took them 10 years to find it, I do think the Magic have that player in Paolo Banchero. Paolo is a physical specimen at 6'10", 250 pounds with a 7'1" wingspan. When you combine that with absurd movement skills and athleticism, you get something special. He's a very fluid mover. He has the movement skills you see in guards and wings, not a 6'10", 250 pound power forward. He has great straight line and lateral movement skills, and he's also a really good athlete as well. Great pure strength and physicality. Good vertical explosion, good quickness, good open floor speed. I'm not saying he's a LeBron as an athlete, but for his size, Paolo is very much an elite athlete, I would say. And given his skill set and movement skills, I do think he has traits that allow him to potentially be a star level guy at 6'6", let alone 6'10". Having physical traits like this on its own is special, and that's something that intrigues NBA teams. Now you'll get what Paolo is skill-wise, and you really see why people are high on his potential. The foundation for what Paolo Banchero is as an offensive player is his handle. His shot creation, his finishing, his passing, all of it is connected to his handle. Paolo's handle is another reason I believe he would still be a potential star-level guy if he was 6'6", let alone 6'10". Paolo doesn't just have a good handle for a 6'10" player. His handle is just good in general. He has an array of combo moves he can string together. His handle's pretty tight, I would say. It's a bit loose at times, but for the most part, I would say it's tight on tape. But what I'm most impressed by is how deliberate he is with his handle. He doesn't seem to over-dribble much on tape. He has real intent with every dribble move he does. Every move is to create something, whether it's a shot, an angle to create more space, find an open teammate, or even create an angle to set up another angle to find something within the offense. These are the type of things that separate the great creators from the rest of the field. It's that ability to not waste movement in creation situations. Paolo did have some moments on tape where he did waste movement. I'm not going to act like he didn't have those moments as well, but for the most part on tape, it really felt like he wasn't wasting much movement at all. And that's just as impressive to me as his ability to hit tough shots and create off the dribble. It's the fact that he's trying to do it efficiently, and that's just, again, very encouraging. And if you can get all of that in a 6'10" rookie, that's something to be very excited about. If the handle is the foundation for what Paolo is as an offensive player overall, then his ability to attack and finish at the basket is the foundation for his scoring ability. Paolo's at 50.8% on 8.3 paint attempts per game this season. He's at 61.9% on 4.8 restricted area attempts per game, and he's at 53.3% on 5.5 layup attempts per game. Paolo has the strength, skill, and movement to be a dominant finisher in the paint. Not many are going to be able to match what he brings to the table. His handle and footwork help him out a lot in this area, which is again another example of the handle really being the foundation for what he's able to do as a player. Now, I will say this, he does need to play more in control, which I do think let some of his efficiencies to not be as high as you would think they would be at times. I mean, I wouldn't say that his paint numbers were bad this season, especially for a rookie with his kind of responsibility, but I wouldn't say they are dominant paint numbers either. He does have to work a bit on playing in control. But at the same time, I do think it's a very fixable problem, and I would expect him to see improvement in this area simply from experience at game speed or reps. If that gets better, we should continue to see improvement in those paint scoring numbers to the point they are dominant. Is it a guarantee that Paolo becomes a dominant paint scorer? No, that's something only time will tell. But I'm willing to bet on the tools and intangibles, which is why I believe he very well could become one. And if he continues to improve the way he has from before the NBA to the NBA into year 2, we should see a jump in this area, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to his ability to shoot the basketball, I do have some questions. He's at 37.9% on 3.3 mid-range attempts per game. He's at 29.8% on 4 3-point attempts per game. He's at 34.8% on 8.2 overall jump shot attempts per game. Now, I do think on tape, what I noticed the most is his shot selection. I do think he settled at times. I do think he forced jumpers at times, and that did affect his numbers. I also think the degree of difficulty on his shot attempts played a factor in this as well. He took a lot of high degree of difficulty shots on tape, and even though he's definitely capable of making those types of shots, when you take a lot of them, the numbers aren't going to be the highest, especially as a rookie. And I just think a lot of this is inconsistency we see from rookies. I don't think Paolo is a bad shooter, especially on tape. I'm encouraged by his confidence. I'm encouraged by his willingness. I'm encouraged by what he shows in off-bounds creation reps as a shooter. Now, I don't think Paolo will be a big-time shooter. I'm not trying to paint that picture because he had a pretty up-and-down shooting season. But what I am saying is that Paolo showed enough signs of willingness and degree of difficulty to be encouraged by his shooting ability as a complementary skill, and it's not something I think will be a problem long term. Again, given what he showed on tape with degree of difficulty shots, and the fact that he took a lot of jumpers and confidently took a lot of them as well. I never felt like he was hesitant to shoot the basketball, which are very positive signs when you look at him in the sense of, okay, will he be a non-factor as a shooter or not? Based off his tape, there really isn't any sign that suggests that he will ever be a bad shooter or a non-factor as a shooter. But at the same time, again, I think it's going to be more of a complementary skill. Jump shooting will never be the primary focus of his game to me. But I do think, again, he has some signs to be encouraged in that skill being good enough. In no way am I comparing Paolo to LeBron James, because I don't think anyone is the next LeBron James, or we should be comparing anyone to LeBron James, now or ever. But I do think it's realistic to believe that Paolo can reach a similar level of shooting, where he can punish defenses that are more worried about his slashing and paint scoring for good reason, and it extends his offensive game. He's not a terrible shooter, but he's also not a good one right now either. But the signs are encouraging. He has decent to good shooting touch, but he's not a lights out shooter either. Given what Paolo is as a paint scorer, I do think being a solid shooter will be good enough, which is something I actually project Paolo to be moving forward, even if, again, it's not the primary focus or something he's elite at. I think, again, it will be good enough to extend his offensive game and expand what he's capable of doing overall as an offensive player in more of a complementary skill role. Paolo definitely had his ups and downs as a rookie. There's no denying that fact. He had his fair share of bad shooting nights, but like I mentioned in a video about Paolo earlier on in the season, I am still encouraged by his bad games, and that's something that's very key when you watch tape, because I do think we can watch the good games and see all the good signs in the good games, but also watching the bad games and seeing where they struggle and seeing where they still might thrive even when they struggle is just as important, if not more important, when evaluating a player. Because even in his bad games, Paolo was getting to the line. And his ability to get to the line is why I'm so confident in him becoming a franchise player. Paolo finished 10th in the NBA in free throw attempts per game this season. The only other rookies to finish top 10 in free throw attempts per game over the last 30 NBA seasons are Luka Doncic, Blake Griffin, Allen Iverson, Jerry Stackhouse, Grant Hill, Shaquille O'Neal, and Alonzo Mourning. Every single player I mentioned has made at least 2 All-Star teams. 4 of them have been inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. 2 of them will be inducted once they retire. Blake Griffin is a Hall of Famer. I will argue with anyone about this. Look at his resume compared to other guys who have made it and what he did at his peak. And Luka is already one based off his overseas career, on top of a historic start to an NBA career that includes multiple first-team All-NBA selections at just 24 years old. And the worst player I named here was still a 2-time All-Star who had a season where he averaged almost 30 points per game in his NBA career. That's good company for Paolo to be in after a rookie season. The ability to draw fouls is key for being an elite scorer. Paolo showcased that he's already one of the best at it right now. Now, he does need to improve his efficiency at the line, get more consistent. Wasn't a terrible overall free throw shooter by any means. He was above 70%, which for a power forward is pretty solid. But at the same time, you would like to see that number get up to like the 80-85 range, which I don't think is out of the cards. It's not a guarantee either, but I could see it happening. And I think, again, that would take his game to another level because he definitely had some games. I thought he could probably have like 40 right now if he just hit his free throws. So, again, I want to see him get better at that. But I do think regardless of that, his ability to draw fouls is already very impressive for a rookie. It's a skill that helps players produce even when they struggle from the field efficiency-wise. And there were definitely games in Paolo's rookie season where his production was good even though he wasn't shooting well from the field because he got to the line a lot. And this is a skill that usually takes about 2 or 3 years for young players to develop, but Paolo has it right now. And what's scary is he could get even better at it. I don't think it's a hot take to look at what Paolo does on tape and look at the numbers when it comes to foul drawing and believe that he has a chance to be the best foul drawer in the league one day. And I don't think that's a hot take because he's already really good at it. And even with that on tape, he has signs where it's like, you could improve in this area and maybe tweak a few things to get even more trips to the line if you wanted to. And if he does that, we could be looking at a guy that's averaging like 10 plus free throw attempts per game for his entire prime. And that's not unrealistic to believe at all, based off, again, what we saw from him already as a rookie, with still room to grow in this area. The final area I want to talk about with Paolo is the passing. I think Paolo's a really good passer already. He has good vision, he understands his scoring gravity and how to leverage it. He does have his fair share of rookie mistakes, like every rookie does, because they're rookie mistakes, that's just common sense. But I wouldn't let that take away from the positives either. He's a plus passer on tape. It's evident that he does have good feel for the game in this area, and I think he has a legit playmaking upside. He averaged 3.7 assists per game as a rookie. I think he can get to 5, 6, maybe 7 assists per game at some point in his career because of the tools and the feel that he has as a passer. And when you're this good of a scorer already, a 20-point per game scorer as a rookie in the NBA, which is not an easy feat at all, no matter what the efficiency is, what you can do as a passer is important because that will expand your game. And I think Paolo has a chance to be one of the best passing power forwards in the league, and somebody that adds these assist numbers to crazy point and rebound numbers that will make him an MVP candidate one day. But it's more about what he does on tape than the numbers, in my opinion, as far as impact goes, even though I think he will put up big time assist numbers in his career, because what he does on tape as a passer really is just going to make him hard to guard if he can expand on that, because he's already really good as a scorer. And if you can be an elite passer on top of that, which I do think Paolo can be, that's gonna be nearly impossible to stop. Paolo has all the tools in the world you look for in a franchise player. He has incredible scoring upside with good passing upside to complement it. He has physical tools, movement skills, and athletic traits you can't teach. He has basketball skills combined with everything I just mentioned that you just don't see in 6'10", 250-pound power forwards. He's not a perfect player by any stretch of the imagination. He does need to learn how to play more in control. He does need to improve with his shot consistency. But he does show positive signs in both of those swing factor areas. I don't think it's a guarantee that Paolo becomes a superstar. However, I do think he has all the tools and intangibles to become a superstar. He is someone that Magic fans are rightfully excited about, because for the first time in forever, they finally have a core to be excited about. Paolo, Franz, Markel, their upcoming draft picks, Wendell Jr., even guys like Jalen Suggs showed some stuff off the bench. Cole Anthony showed stuff off the bench. They have a core that is really exciting to watch. This Magic team was a lot better than their record suggested. They had an awful start to the season, but after that awful start, they basically played at a play-in level for the rest of the season. They weren't tanking. It was evident every time you watched them play. They were giving great teams problems night in and night out, and Paolo was a big reason for that. He had his ups and downs that were very evident on tape. I'm not denying that. He's not perfect. He needs to work on things. But on tape, I see all the signs in a franchise player. I see everything I saw in guys that became franchise players when they were rookies in Paolo. That's how good I think he could be. I truly think this is somebody that has a chance to be an elite offensive player. One of the best offensive players in the league. Putting up 25 plus points per game, maybe averages a double-double at some point in his career, and gives you 5 plus assists, while also impacting winning basketball. It's not a guarantee that he does become this all-NBA, like top 10 MVP candidate guy. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee at all. But what I am saying is, the signs are there. You should be encouraged, and it's fair to believe that he is a future superstar in the NBA, and someone that the Magic can build around for years to come. Alright, that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, so if that's something that interests you, really think you enjoy this channel, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways you can help me, help support the channel, and in turn also helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. It means more people will watch my videos if you like and subscribe, and in turn helps me grow, helps me be in a position where I can make content for you guys more consistently in the future, and it would just mean a lot to me. Let me know what you think about Paolo Banchero in the comment section below. Think he's rookie to you? You think he's a future superstar? Love to hear your thoughts down there. Also check out my other channel about basketball, my Hoop Essay channel. It's a channel where I make video essays about basketball. I'll put the link to that channel in the description below, pin comment. I'm more laid back, so more personality, and just talk about basketball for like 5 to 8 minutes per video over there. So if that interests you and you want to see another side of my basketball mind, again, link in the description below, pin comment. With that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.